New Age deceptions, the forgotten water path, and how all like Kundalini, chakra system, esoteric anatomy was all formed. Massive deception out here. This is quick notes from me, but yeah, the chakra system, the Kundalini, all the symbolism behind that, we could go way deep, look at Immortal truth and all that. I've known for a long time, multiple years now, that the chakra system is in fact inverse, in the sense that light, it's almost like the chakras are dark, and in fact you have to merge and meld this massive sheath, this cloak around you, this cloak of darkness, this shell, right? We have to break down this shell that is around us and around each chakra, right? And allow the divine energies that are like little sparks up our spine to merge with the whole density. We are literally walking darkness. All these chakra drawings and things out here, it is always like this aura showing around the chakras, and like the chakras are producing all this light. It's like, yeah, we're like 0.01% activated. It's like a little spark in there, a little bird in a cage surrounded by darkness, okay? Your aura isn't active. It is to a degree, right? To a very small degree. And when most people do like yoga and stuff and like run, they move energy in the smallest, slightest degrees. But true chakra activation and blending your essence with the great essence to make the two into one, to activate the sun state, to literally bring your astral and etheric body incarnate, where you can show your etheric energy like Christ, that is a different level. And that is like all those like drawings and graphics and things with all the light around the person, and that's that image, right? You actually see right here on the screen here, I can get it full. You see how like the guy's actually like a dark silhouette. That is you. You got to understand, my friends, we are separate from the ether right now. We are not pumping with divine source intelligence and like harmony. If you were pumping with ether, you would not get sick, you would not decay. You are immortal at that point, because you are literally self-generated. You are regenerating yourself and your divine blueprint instantaneously. Like if you get cut, that shit would seal, because you were having source DNA flowing into you, right? And what happens is, because our mind and our hearts and our bodies are in these three separate chambers, because these fetters of darkness separate the chambers, right? If I can yeah, this cuts us off from connection, right? And then we also are super strongly rooted in the ego, and there's a spiritual organ that's actually the root cause of this from Gnosticism. But because of all of this, we always think in a non-connected way of being, and we don't feel our connection anymore. So through energy work, through the esoteric studies, through basically purifying and crystallizing your soul, through the attainment of virtue and purification of your psychology and the alignment with your true nature, you ever step closer towards the perfected initiate. And the perfected initiate takes the water path. So getting back into this video, what they're talking about here, this is actually very spot on knowledge brought to you by Max Christensen. I was just listening to this and I was like, wow, this guy's fucking on it. There's something I didn't know about the divergence and the lost water path. But it makes so much sense, because in all the like I do multiple hours of energy work, usually like every day for many, like 2 years straight now. It's kind of crazy. But like, yeah, the inferno's on me. But what he talks about is spot on when it comes to energy work. Energy work is not about working with chakras and working with Kundalini and doing different movements and formulas to raise Kundalini. That is such bullshit. You'll never hit the highest levels that way. It is about entering the subtlest regions of mind and feeling. You have to become a perceptive king, a king of perception. It is essentially the attainment of the subtle sense, the most subtle sense. Energy work takes off in huge leaps when you can actually bring forth an imagination to start moving energy, right? And tap into that far outside of you and feel it, right? And this goes into Tao, this goes into all my energy work and so many things in the Esoteric Anatomy. But it's the water path in the sense that everyone who does energy work, quote unquote, like all these Reiki practitioners and all these formula followers, it's literally all bullshit. All of it. I mean, it's the right techniques, right? But this is why magicians don't give initiates, like other initiates, their formulas, or like some like random person. They don't give you the formulas because they don't understand the essence and the principles that would allow them to create the formulas. They get stuck on the formulas, get stuck on how to breathe, like do this motion with your breath. It's utter bullshit. What you must learn how to do is breathe living symbols into reality, feel the subtle energy, and learn how to surrender. Energy work is the process of expanding that which you can feel, attaining a piercing mind, piercing perception that is so subtle, a subtle way of thought, and the ability to breathe in like different patterns, I guess. And most, absolutely most importantly, energy work is about your ability to be okay in uncomfortability. Because when you're doing energy work, if you flinch, if you're raising Kundalini, I swear to God, it's literally Shiva rising up your spine, destroying everything. When Shakti awakens, when Kundalini awakens, not all people make it out alive, my friends. It's because it's literally eating and consuming all the darkness around you. Another master key when thinking about energy work. I didn't know I was going to post this video, but I am gonna, because I'm just about getting into it right here real quick. This is so important. A principal foundation for thinking about energy. My friends, you must understand that energy from the Divine Mother, which is right below like your ass and pelvic bone, right? And connected deep into the heart of Earth. That energy is literally so intense. The vibration of it is like an atomic bomb blowing up constantly, right? And roaring against, like trying to like rise up your body, trying to go through you. But our auras are actually encoded in a way. And obviously the body and this vehicle, you know, was not made by them. Like, it was definitely a vehicle that got fucked with a little bit, because our natural state is in fact blocked from that energy. We have to in fact go within us and unlock literally the door to that energy. So when we're doing energy work, everyone like teaches like activating chakras and breathing energy into chakras and imagining the light there. And like, yes, this is all very valuable little techniques, but really it is in fact about realizing what is in your body, right? Feeling the blockages, feeling outside the blockages, feeling the edges of your perception getting very subtle, very, very, very subtle, all the way to the edges, right? And then opening the doors in your mind and accepting the feelings, right? We could go so deep into these techniques. Like, I literally probably have 200 to 300 audios on energy work that I'm gonna make like some kind of release them somehow in some kind of series. But you need to understand that the Divine Father and Divine Mother are waiting for you to open the door. Have you ever seen that picture by Michelangelo, where the Most High God is reaching out a finger, right, to Adam, and Adam is just lazily has his hand there like he doesn't really know, right? My friends, the Most High and like the Divine Mother are literally full blast trying to get through the layers of density to re-illuminate your heart, so that you pump with them, so that you become Horus, you become the Son of Man and the Son of God. The Son of Man meaning you ascended from man, the Son of God meaning you descended from God. This happens because you ascend from Mother and you descend from Father into the Christ, which is the heart, right? And this is where you pump with the ether. And that ether, that heart center, right, combines the illumination of the mind with the life of the soul, where's the soul? The soul is the Ka, which is the solar plexus in ancient Egypt. The Ka was the solar plexus in the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. And the Ba, right? The Ba was more like the great essence, the quintessence, the mind, right? And in fact, the light is Lucifer. Light is intelligence, intellect, insight, knowledge and wisdom. And then we got life, which is Jesus, which is the Lord of love, which is, so the union of the life and the light. And you can go read some quotes by Hermes. But when you combine the life and the light, you shall become one and singular. And basically, that is the path to immortality and God Gnosis, okay? Because you act out of the Christ center, which literally holds the bridge. The heart is not as much, it's much better to think about it as a bridge between the mind and the solar plexus, the generator and the driver, than it is to think about the heart as like a chakra or something. The heart is the bridge, right? It is the command center. But let's hear what Max Christensen has to say. I didn't mean to just go fucking off. I guess I had a lot in me.
Path teachers are. Just a little bit more, can you just talk a little bit more about what fire path is, just so that they know the distinction between fire path and water path?
Well, fire path is utilizing chakras, meditation, visualizations in order to rise a dormant potential of a nuclear current from basically your tailbone up either to the spine. Some traditions, it's in the center of the body. There's variations like 2.
Really important right here, actually. The fire rises from the base. It actually rises from just above the ankles. We can go look at so much anatomy from ancient Egypt on that one, but I also can verify that with experience. And where people get confused with, does Kundalini rise from the sacral chakra? Does it rise from the pelvic bone? Does it rise from the solar plexus? The seed, my friends, the seed is in your solar plexus. It's right in the center of your body. And what you must do to activate that seed is, I guess, map the trajectory of it by focusing on like the third eye or Thoth, right? And pulling up with that, but at the same time, simultaneously rising the Divine Mother, just like in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, when it says, meditate and call up the fires, the inferno from the center of the earth. And look back into my Esoteric Anatomy videos when I talked about rising Kundalini. So I gave a good description on, you dwell in the heart center and then you dwell in the mind. But you dwell in the heart to call up the mother, and then you dwell up the mind to direct the light of your soul and put it on put it on high. So when you put your soul on high and you bring the life up to the light and the light back down to the life, right? And you make the two into one, it will rise slowly with great ingenuity and very gently. Right? Very gently, you must separate the subtle from the gross, the macro from like the micro, right? The solid from the flames. That's literally separating the spiritual energy, which we call energy work, and like that esoteric energy we can feel, from the physical body. You must separate them very gently. Let it rise and descend. This is the Emerald Tablet of Hermes I'm quoting right now. But when you do this, low. And when you harness both the power of the above and below, you'll say to mountains, move, and mountains will move. Because this is the pattern. This is the operation of the sun, my friends. And sun symbolism, the mystery teachings around the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, and the operation of the sun, and how the sun works, right, is everything. It's everything. It's how you activate. In the Emerald Tablets, it literally says, become one with the sun state like 1,000,000 times. Jesus said, become one with the light, or else you're filled with darkness. What is all this? Meditate upon the sun, and the fact that I'm standing out here, and I'm feeling the heat and the light from that one sun, right? And that sun is pulling in everything around it, from the above, from the below, all energy, transmuting it at the core, right? Illuminating its whole sphere, and pushing light out. That is what happens when you bring the Ka to the Ba and back down. When you bring plexus, right, up to your, like, loop it through your third eye, right, activate all the nadis in the body, and you become a pump for ether. So what is the sun? The sun is basically taking the unmanifest and shooting it forth, like taking just raw ether and shooting it forth. It is a vessel. It is a portal of light. It takes ether and transmutes it into light, right? And then the mother here on earth takes that light and creates all the forms we see. Okay? The mother burns as fire, which is flames, which is curved, which is, very natural. The light from the sun is straight fucking lines. It's geometric. Sun, masculine. Earth, mother. They both burn and they both transmute. Mother second, sun first. The all at the source of it. See how that works? That's the 3 planes right there, okay? And that description is really important for anyone out there really working on mastering the esoteric anatomy and reaching full activation. But I'm just gonna walk and listen. These next 2 minutes, really, this shaman dude maps it out well, and then I'll catch you guys later. But
in Tibet, there's the samadhi fire in the Tibetan traditions and Buddhist traditions. There's bringing on the fire in the Mongolian tradition, where your body catches fire actually and there's nothing left. And
okay. Death is the door. The doctrine of rebirth, resurrection, or the twice born is universal in nature, in all mystery teachings, and in every religion. And this, as always, has many fucking layers. So you could interpret that as an ego death, as a psychological death, as a transformation of being, right? This is the way of prayer and repentance. But the highest level, at the highest example and symbol of resurrection or death and resurrection, is literally physical death. Your body burns. Your spiritual energy and the body literally separate for a second. And the body and all the darkness, I guess it's almost like a DNA strand is fucked with, right? And literally the body mutates. It mutates. There's a mutation that goes down, right? And I'm pretty sure if you go read the Colburn Bible, book 4, chapter 2, it talks about the twice born and the secret, the initiation rites of the twice born, the highest initiates, to become perfected and literally become glowing messiahs. Like, this is what the tribes used to do. But yeah, those twice born, they would like literally go on like a 7-day spiritual journey, and not all of them made it out alive, kind of thing. Yeah, next level stuff. But really get that in your mind: the death, resurrection, and twice born.
Those, are, how would I say, without breaking people's, minds and understandings, is that it was a
I think I already accomplished that.
secondary. It came from the actual water practices, which a lot of the history, they won't tell you that. And what I mean by this is that they use methods to get to an end, the awakening.
Mm-hmm.
But in the water path, in the Kunlun Mountains, where our tradition was from, Khan went there, my disciple, and he found that there was nothing to practice because of spontaneous letting go nature, and nature takes a course. So
True that. This whole process is truly guided by like a harmonious inner dialogue and surrendering to life and nature. But many are called, very few are chosen. This path he's talking about, I disagree with him on one point. And that one point is he's about to say that so anybody can follow this instruction and attain the highest levels of spirituality and spiritual attainment. Utter bullshit. And the fact that many are called, few are chosen. In the Bible, a lot of sacred texts, it talks about the fires, the flames. I'm pretty sure it's in 2 Peter, like chapter 2 or chapter 4. Jesus talking to Peter is like, don't complain when the fire descends upon you, or when you like are going into the living breath of life. The Ankh means essentially taking the breath of ether for the first time. That's why Ra, which is the sun, is putting the Ankh into Horus's mouth, who becomes like the son of man kind of thing. And all these depictions of this. Why? It's because Ra, which is the sun, is showing Horus how to become one with the sun state and breathe like the sun so that he can shine amongst men. Yeah, I forget why I started that little tangent. Whatever.
The end result of those masters is just open toward you. The body responds to the opening. And so all of a sudden the body starts to move, and they notice, the old masters, after a while, that you kept doing something, an effect, a siddhi, or some attainment of physical or body or mind.
I do like this guy because he's a strong understanding of Taoist philosophy combined with natural shamanism. I dig that shit. But man, I really, really, really strongly believe that Hermetic philosophy, the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, as well as really Hermetic philosophy is so freaking crucial. And Gnosticism, and absolutely number 1 and number 2 would be Kabbalah and Gnosticism. Kabbalah. But yeah, I don't know if this guy has that basis.
Start taking place. Now, in those days, they didn't have much of an ego, so everybody could learn like a family. And then
people be like, at this point, oh, I'm listening to a dude who has an ego. I'm just like, God damn it, I'm just trying to record this as fast as possible and give the most potent, essential, flame-worthy, like, information possible. Like, no filter kind of thing. People are going to be coming at me. I get all the time, like, oh, like, you're coming from, like, an ego place. Oh, look at how much wisdom I have. It's like, I don't fucking care about showing some random person how wise I am. Because most people will think I'm fucking crazy from this message, A. B, it's like, yo, this is just the straight truth that I know in my heart. I'm trying to spit it whenever I can, whenever I feel called to, in the most potent, precise, powerful way. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm giving the keys to a few kings out here.
he knows that, well, one day someone decided, well, I don't want to lose my power. I want to be something a little bit more than everybody else. So he kind of cut back a little bit on something. And so the end result is they didn't give you the opening first and let it manifest through the body without, just surrendering, and it happened itself naturally.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about the separation of the fire path from the water. And it's very crazy because it's in fact the baptism of both fire and water that come the second born, the twice born ones, the dragon born ones. It is a combination of birth by fire and water. But the water is the essential fucking key, because if you're only focusing on the fire, good way to think about it is the fire path really is symbolized well by the chakras, by the kundalini, by the caduceus, right? Because that's actually where fire burns up, right? But you actually can't tap into enough strength, enough fortitude, and the correct, symbols, breathing patterns, living symbols without the water. Because the water is from the edges. Just like the symbol of masculine is a dot and the symbol of feminine is a ring around the dot. Okay? The water enters from the edges. So when you're doing energy work, it is basically the development of a two-faculty synthesis. Where when you're breathing, you are in fact pulling in with your mind on the edges, feeling the edges, while charging the poles and charging the centers, right? But really, it is a practice and a discipline in the art of non-action. Some of the most powerful meditations I've been doing lately is where I'm in communion and very close connection and feeling with master healers, basically, from like the Brotherhood of the White Temple on the next plane above. And I'm breathing really deep, and I know that like these masters out here, they're healing me, right? All I gotta do is allow that to enter from the edges. I gotta allow the Supreme Spirit to come in while I focus and charge myself from the very center of my being, which is the solar plexus, right? And allow all things to change. It's the art of non-action. And I guess it's a test of your strength within discomfort. It's a test of your ability to control reaction and literally observe pain, pleasure, the most odd sensations, mutations within the body passively. And furthermore, it's a test of how focused and trained you can get your mind to be on an unseen reality, and then like perceive it into existence. Very strange. Finish this video. I'm sorry it went so long, but last piece here, how the two paths diverged and why this deception has come about.
They decide, I'm not going to give you that part. I'm going to give you the movements, and eventually if you do it enough, the body will awaken that potential, but not all the way. Mm-hmm. As time progressed, they started hiding that root and just giving you the end of the movement itself. Right. Now, after a while, you open up the body, we say as above, so below.
You get the gist of what he's saying here. You got literally every fucking yoga practice is desecrated. It's desecrated in so many ways. They lost the water element. They're all focused on movements of the body, breathing techniques, right? Yoga movements. They're not focused on truly the philosophical and esoteric foundation of the anatomy and activation, nor are they tapped into the split mind, the dual mind, and like so many other things. It's all really fucked up. And truly, it is to combine, I guess, like the traditional or contemporary like chakra work, or Kundalini yoga work. Maybe get the best book on that shit, but with like mystical Kabbalah. And go check out the Tao Te Ching, the Ha Hua Ching. I just posted that on Immortal Truth. And start perceiving far beyond yourself, because to activate yourself, my friends, it is to move massive fields around you, not focus on little points. You see, we feel all these little blockages, all these little pains and tightness in our body. And in fact, you are layers and layers and layers of tightness. You are a damn rubber band ball, okay? And you cannot untangle it by only being in the rubber band ball. This is what the fire path teaches right now, since they lost the water. To untangle the rubber band ball, you must in fact unwind the knots from within using the fire techniques, right? With complete surrenderance, the divine feminine aspects of acceptance, non-judgment, and openness in like a dreamlike state of the edges, while you're consciously using the masculine mind to be strong, untangle, focus, and charge things within the body. So you see, opening the third eye, which is, again, the Ankh in ancient Egypt, the Ankh being the two-leaved gate, which is, the 19th bar in Kabbalah, which is the serpent, which is the door, which is Daleth. Opening the third eye, my friends, is the symbol of divine union. Divine union between the divine feminine and divine masculine. It's called the perfect matrimony, right? It's how you enter the bridal chamber and get married to yourself. Crazy shit, but to do that, my friends, it is to learn how to actually harness and utilize the water path and the fire path simultaneously, and bring yourself to a level of knowledge, right, that you can then verify through experience, so that you actually start to tap into literally like the God Gnosis mind of Hermes, the quintessence mind, in the sense that like the formulas, when I'm in deep energy work, when I'm in deep Gnosis talks, the formulas I'm creating are, it's insane. It's like a book a minute in your mind on how to breathe, on how, like what symbols to use right here, how to feel, what kind of like perceptions, feelings, energy are you invoking, like so deep. But yeah, combine the water and the fire path and be born of both water and fire. Be born of both mother and spirit, my friends. And yeah, this is like master keys to the highest levels, I feel like. Yeah, this is immortal truth. This is for the Adept initiates out there. Quick message for y'all. You know, really appreciate all you guys on the path out here, and just keep striving. The energy is getting intense out here, so don't be surprised if you have some massive leaps and bounds on the upward rise. And one day, hell yeah, we're gonna restore the Sons of Light, tribe of fire. We're gonna have some glowing ones out here, I feel like. But anyway, peace out. Thanks for watching.